Alright, we should be live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We are joined by Lexi. How's everybody doing? I cannot operate chat right now. I can't scroll and read chat. She's very hungry right now, so let me finish feeding her. Once she calms down, then I'll get to you guys' comments. I can read what is showing right now, but I can't read the top of the comments. So let's see. What up, Chris? What up, what up? Howdy, Giant Robots. Dispatcher Gaming just built a mini ITX in the Thermaltake TR100 with the 7800X30 and 4080 Super. Very solid parts in a small case. I like. Misty Hill says, that's a neat little box, well designed. How you doing, girl? Yeah, okay. You're good. Slow down. Okay. You good? Alright. Back to it. We got... Let's see. Put an LCD screen in the front. And use a Thermaltake 280 AIO. It's a well-built case, magnetic dust filters all around. I've never built in the TR100. I'm not against it, but I only have opportunities to do so many ITX builds, so... And it's definitely a popular form factor these days, so lots of companies are coming out with cases with them. What up, Pete Dunn? Hello, Danny. Hope all is well with the family. It is well. It's a lot of work, but it is... Everything is just going as good as it can be, I guess, in terms of these girls are healthy, and that's the most important thing. With regards to me and my wife's sanity, though, we're taking it day by day. These girls are barely a month old, a month and a week by this point, so they still require a lot of attention and work. So Dazed says 520. What do you mean by 520? Oh my god. Got the space heater burning my legs down here. My thumbnail. Did my thumbnail have a 520? Oh, was there a typo? I can't check it right now. Let me see. I check on my phone. Did I not type? Oh my goodness. You have to work the split shift. Yeah, so I've got her right now because my wife's got Mia upstairs. Where is... No way I typoed the thumbnail. You're messing with me. You're messing with me. No, I didn't. What's for dinner? Well, I made some butter chicken. It's like the same thing, depending on where you order it. But I cooked some basmati rice and butter chicken last night, so that will be leftovers today. Right after stream. What up, Tony? Yeah, butter chicken, tikka masala, tandoori chicken. I like all that stuff. Steve Oliver says, bro, they will require more attention once they start crawling. Oh, yeah, yeah, I know. It's a different kind of attention, though. Once they do that, I feel like they're a little bit more... You can, pen them off or fence them off, right? At least at that point, they are able to, I feel, explore a little bit more and kind of, tend to themselves. They don't literally need constant attention because all this girl can do right now is... for the most part, eat, sleep, and then a little bit of play. But you leave them alone for too long, just kind of chilling with themselves, and they get fussy. Or at least, of course, all babies are different, but these girls are very, very needy. How often do twins eat? Pretty much every 2 hours still. Um, if they sleep for longer, like let's say they just happen to be for, getting very well rested, peaceful sleep, they'll sleep for like 4 hours. And then once they wake up, they're super cranky because at that point they're very hungry. But if they're for the most part awake and not like sleeping through the night, they're pretty much every 2 hours they get fussy and require eating. So there's that. So eating, diaper change times two, and then dealing with all the bottles and cleaning up, and we're doing laundry every single day. So it's just a lot to do around the house. Robert Fixit says, yes, let's go 50-50 team. I don't think the 50-50 would be bad if it was $200. At $250 though, I mean, there's no competition, right? What other brand new, except for the B580 card, can you get? And I guess the B570. That would be actually a good comparison. Because B580 is not available. B570, we need to look at the prices. We'll do all that once the stream gets up and going. But we're just chilling, making small talk right now, hanging out. Finishing this bottle here. Love from India, says Diablo Mindforge. Love from the United States. Eric N, you a baby daddy now. Congrats. Yeah. Double baby daddy. Hello, love. How are you doing? Uh-oh. All right. Let's burp. Let's burp. She makes the cutest sounds when we're burping. And no, I'm not holding her by her neck. I'm supporting her chin, but I'm holding her by her chest for the most part. So I'm not choking her, even though it looks like it from the back. Come on. Let's get that burp. Throw up. Yeah, they do spit up so much now. Like, you guys hear that sound? It's so cute. I love. Come on. They do spit up a lot, though. Even with successful burps. Like, you'll hear it. And they sound like pterodactyls right now. But, come on. They spit up so much. We go through so many burp cloths. We have spit up all over our clothes, all over the furniture. It's just everywhere. All over their cribs. We're constantly changing out sheets. Constantly changing their clothes. So much laundry. Hey, what's up, Hazard Me? Tony Dung says, as usual, there are no bad cards, only bad prices. I agree. Yeah, I think we'll look at the specs and everything later. I'm very curious if this card is gonna. I don't even think gonna be. It's for sure not gonna be better than the 4060, just based on the numbers. It's looking like it might be around a 3060 level, which buying a brand new card 3060 level for $250. That was a card that was 2 generations ago. That's not the best performance per dollar that you can expect, but again, there's no competition. B580 would be the only competition because it's supposed to be priced at the same, but those have been still pretty expensive. Girl, you just gonna fall asleep? We just not gonna burp? You just gonna randomly spit up in your sleep later? Okay, how you doing? All right, I'm just gonna hold you vertically and hope you just naturally burp while we chill. Yep, come on. She's so floppy right now. Oh, there it is. There was the spit up. All right, love. Look at that. That's a pretty big amount. You good now? Okay. What up, Reluctant Hero? Eric ends at 30 series gang. I think 30 series is still going strong, especially in the used market. I think right now 3060s are kind of pricey. They're like 225. So that's where it kind of makes for some kind of argument for the 5050 if it comes in like right at the 3060 levels and it has more features with regards to like DLSS frame gen. It's gonna have the same 8 gigabytes of VRAM unless you're comparing it to a 12 gigabyte 3060. And if you're comparing a used card for 225 versus an equivalent with more, new gen features for 250, that's like the only semi argument you can make to get the 5050. But yeah, we have to see once the actual numbers come out to see how it compares. How you doing, love? You want to say hi to everybody? How you doing? I know the light's bright. Let me point that away, and you can say hi, and hopefully you don't spit all over the place. Let me get your cloth ready. Say hi. Let's see. Derek and damn, 2 girls to protect. You need an AR-15 or AK-47 and some Glocks. They're not gonna be dating and doing all that stuff for a while, so I got time to figure out the protection side of things. Free thermal paste. How you doing, love? You good? You good? You milk drunk? Yes, she did. This was milk. Oh, more spit up. Yay. Okay. Okay, love. Oh, come on. I need you to hold your food. You need to grow. I was talking to Misty earlier in the chat, talking about if these girls could fit inside a sleeper PC build, convert it into a crib, and I was saying they're too big by this point. And I'll show the images of it. So, hi. Let me see. Browser. Yeah, so this is the girls, like, the day we got home, or maybe the day after we got home from the hospital. So they were, at this point, like, 3 or 4 years, not years, 3 or 4 days old. And then this was them at 1 month. So look how, like, the size difference in just 1 month. So they're growing crazy fast. I think at this point they would have fit in a mid-sized tower converted into a crib if I were to take an old PC case and make a crib out of it. But then now, like, they've grown so much. They're so much bigger now. Putting them in a mid-size or even a larger tower, they would be hitting the hard metal edges on the side. So, yeah. You can never stop taking that. Oh, yes. That's the plan, Chris. So the plan was to do like what people do. You know, you've seen those on Reddit, right? Like someone who shows a picture of their dad holding them up, until whatever year. So pretty much, so this was fresh from the hospital. This was 1 month. And now I'm going to do, I'll probably do every month up to a year. And then after that, do a picture every year in the exact same position at our house. And then one day the girls are going to be too big for me to carry them like this. And they will... Actually, no, I'll probably try to do this pose even once they're like teenagers. So we'll see how that works out. Bro, looks like you're holding 2 little boys. Yeah, a lot of people think that they're boys just because their hair is still short right now. But they are girls. I know this because when I changed the diapers, you know. Yes, they are. It is going to be awesome to look back to. It's going to take a long time, all the way up until, I don't know, let's say 18 years old or something. But I think it would be something cool for them to have. Oh, you're good now? You good? All right. Oh. We're still chilling for a second. I'm about to bring her back upstairs. But, For the time being, I'm waiting. We are waiting for reinforcements. My sister-in-law is coming, and my mother-in-law are also coming to help watch them while we stream. But you good? I think she might be good for me to put her down in her in the bassinet upstairs. So I might go ahead and do that. There's 2 double congrats. Hey, what up, Shauner? Long time no see. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put on the slideshow while I get her upstairs and settled. Okay. Did that loop through? I didn't see if that looped through or not, but all right, we should be good. I also had to change a diaper. How long was that? I felt like that was pretty fast. Oh, Eric, I read that wrong. It says, bro, you look like you're holding 2 little toys. I thought you said 2 little boys. Totally read that wrong, but yes, they do feel like little tiny dolls. So what up, what up? All right, we got to go back up to the top, though, because I missed it. Dispatcher Gaming was first today. Stang 2007 just became a dad last week. I was going to say, I hope Stang tuned in. How are you having time to watch this right now? Is your little one sleeping? Or are you like watching and feeding and just hanging out at the same time? Because my goodness, I felt like that first couple of weeks, we didn't have time to do anything. in 6 weeks they'd be too big. They grow like weeds at this age. They do. They're getting so big. But yeah. Let's see. Saw the news about the RTX 5050 but 12 hours later, by the time I got home from work, I felt like it would have been too late to the boat to do a news short about it. But 50 class for 250, yikes. Yeah, I don't remember what the 30, didn't the 3050 also come out at 250 though? What are realistic retro gaming specs for a 1070? What do you mean by realistic retro gaming specs? You mean like emulation of like PlayStations and Xbox and stuff? I'm actually not too sure. I don't get into the whole emulation stuff. But the 1070 and wait, what are realistic retro gaming specs for a 1070 for 600? I don't understand this question. Like you're gonna buy a system for 600 that has these graphics cards in it, and you're gonna use it for retro gaming, or are you trying to say something else? What up, Firestorm? Have I taken a picture of the girls next to the GPU? I did one better. It was on video. It was actually last week's stream, Steve. Let me bring it up. But I had Mia next to a graphics card before we did the build. Oh, let me watch it, the thing so I can give myself some. Oh, there it is. So I can give myself some ad rev. But let's see. Yeah, so last week's stream before we started building, where did I put her up to it? Oh, it's like right here. Yeah. So I had her next to a graphics card. She is definitely bigger than a graphics card, though. I don't know how much like the biggest 5090 weighs. They're about 8 pounds now, so I doubt the 5090s get into the 8-pound range. I think. I don't know. I haven't held a high end like 4090 5090 to know and weighed it to know. So yeah. But yep, there you go. Compared to a graphics card, they are bigger for sure. Let's see. Retro gaming is PS3 and under. I feel like a 1070 and 1660. Wait. You should be able to do that with the 1070 or 1660. I remember back in like... Oh no, that was emulating PS2. Never mind. My friends from the LAN party stories, they used to be into emulating, but I think at that time they were not doing PS3s. They were doing PS2. So never mind. I don't have any experience with that, so... Yes, that's the goal. Once they're old enough, we do that same picture and they're both holding me in the center. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, 3050 was same MSRP. They could have used this to win back some good rep, but nope. The name sounds funny. 50-50. It does. Like half and half, 50-50. What's up with the Intel cards? I don't like the idea of paying Nvidia as of late. Well, let's take a look at the Nvidia stuff first, and then we can get into the comparison and talking about what we can expect from them and all of that stuff. Let's see. So let me go to the official Nvidia page, which is kind of annoying that these graphs, I can't just click on them. Well, they'll expand to the whole screen and you guys can't see anything. But they officially announced yesterday, June 24th, 5050 desktop and laptop GPUs are coming to gamers everywhere, starting at $250. $250, I think, is a great price point to break, for like, especially newcomers to the PC space who don't have either a ton to spend or if they want to just dip their toes in the water, because with $250 you can build a system around 700 with the remaining components relatively easily. So it gets people into PC gaming, that may not have been otherwise. The only issue is, and especially brand new too, right? Because newcomers to the space are pretty hesitant with buying used parts. They're not experienced. It's a lot of it's anxiety inducing to buy used parts and to have that feeling that you don't have a warranty if your parts die. So I think this segment of the market for brand new parts is kind of starving right now. We've only got, with regards to this gen, the B580, and now we're going to have this. But let me scroll down a little bit so that we can take a look at what Nvidia is saying about this and these ridiculous charts that they're showing. So relative performance, I think people are going to have a field day with this one. Open the image in a new tab. Okay, so greater than 50 times the performance for tens of millions of gamers. And this is DLSS on versus off, and this is just a chart. It's showing that 50 million gamers are using anything from a 36, with this segment of graphics cards combined. So 3060 and older. So the relative performance of these cards up against each other. So we look at according to Nvidia themselves, with DLSS off, this is paired with the 9800 X3D suite of 20 modern games at 1080p high settings. The 5050 should beat the 3060. But we're going to have to wait for independent testing for that, because there's no frame generation or anything talked about on this chart. It's just DLSS. Well, actually, let me see. Because some of the other charts, they kind of group frame generation and DLSS together. But it's saying it should come in. It's right at the 4060, which had an MSRP of $300. So one generation later, for $50 less, the same performance of card. The 4060, I feel like, regardless of how it was, received by reviewers, to the common person, to people who aren't super techie, that aren't into the deep dives and reviews and stuff like that, the ones who just straight up go to Amazon, look for something that's affordable and just buy it, or Newegg, or B&H, or wherever the heck, the 4060 sold well, regardless of the performance it came in at. So the 5050 coming at $250, if it really does perform this well, which again we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm very curious about Nvidia's claims on this, but with the new DLSS, that's supposed to be noticeably better. So 4060s right now, let me do a quick price check. See, RTX 4060, can we still find these for $300? See, they're out of production, so the cheapest one, 3060 for $350. What is this? You can't even, you can get a 5060, which is the replacement, which according to, wait up, something looks off about this. It is sold and shipped by Amazon. I'm surprised this has this low of ratings. At $300, which is the expected price, only 4 ratings on Gigabyte. Okay, what's up? Why is this? Let's see. 8 GB card slow on new 2025 game. Okay, so there's only 2 people have left ratings, which is why it's the average is so low. But this is weird. This is on Amazon, sold and shipped by Amazon. I'm very surprised that, just based on volume sold, something around this price range from Nvidia, 60 series card, regardless of performance, should have sold enough where there should have been more ratings and reviews on Amazon. This is kind of odd to me. Shauner says, I'm still of the mindset that $250 should be in a 60 series class card. I like to see how it compares to the 60 series from both brands. Yeah. What was the, even going back to the 3060 MSRP, when was the last time a 60 series came in at that price? So 3060 released at 329, and we know we're not going to go backwards in time of inflation. What was the 2060? That was 350. And then the 1060 MSRP was 250. So yeah, the last time that happened, and what year was this again? Like 2017 release date. The last time that happened was 9 years ago. About, yeah, because the 5050 is coming out mid-July. So yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a $250 60 series card. Actually no, what was the 1660 MSRP? This was weird because, yeah, so these came out at 220. And that was what, 2018, 2019? Okay, so that was 6 years ago. So it's been a while. I want what that Nvidia guy is smoking that look like some good stuff, dog. Yeah. DLSS on? No. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna try to ignore the DLSS performance, but for 250, if it really comes in at 4060 performance levels or better, brand new, I mean, obviously I would want, I think this card would, if they positioned it at $200, it would have been like kind of a home run for them. I don't think there would be that many negative things for reviewers, even the most critical ones, to say about this card. But 250, that's a whole, from 200 to 250, that's 25%, more in price than what people are kind of expecting. And I think I've seen multiple people mention that, they would have liked to see it under at 200 or less. Yeah, if without DLSS, the 5050 is going to perform similarly to 4060, it's not a bad option. I agree with you. But we don't live in a world where, people have nuanced discussions and ratings. To everybody, it's either a good product or garbage. I think it wouldn't be a bad option either. But we'll see. Any generation with 50 at the end isn't worth the money. 2080 Ti is around the same price. And a 2080 Ti, is it really? Let me see. I could have sworn those were going for a little bit more last I checked. And yeah, 2080 Ti is going to come in around a 3070 performance level. So you can get a 2080 Ti without issues. So it's around 270. So I don't think they put... There's no 3070 on this chart, but we know it is noticeably better than a 3060. Yeah. No, a 1050, I don't believe it's at 0, Robert. I think the 1050 here, yeah, it's not at 0, otherwise it'd be online. This is so weird, and I think I still have a 1050. Let me see. Because of all this, I was planning on making a 1050 revisit video, because I specifically have the... dang, where is it? I know I have that card somewhere. But I have the 2GB model, and with all the talks of VRAM these days, I thought it'd be like, hey, it would be interesting to revisit the most current... Dang, no way. Please tell me I did not, sell it in a system or something at some point. But, I might have to pick up a 2GB 1050. Because I think the GTX 1050... is one of the newest 2GB VRAM cards. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either like GT 1030 or GTX 1050, which I would rather do a GTX 1050 revisit video. But yeah, for whatever reason, they were like, yes, let's compare it to some arbitrary, 10 series card from years ago, and which I don't know, these numbers are all kind of meaningless, I think. Nobody buying that card is going to have a 9800 X3D. No, but the point of it is to make sure there's no other bottlenecks in the system, right? If you think about it, using this card with this versus, let's say, some Ryzen 5 or i5 from the current generation, it shouldn't be that big of a difference, if any at all, because everybody knows that this graphics card is not going to be that powerful, so it should be the bottleneck, right? I don't have any problems with, them testing with the 9800X 3D. They just do that because as they scale up, if they don't use a powerful enough CPU, you're going to have, I guess, not errors, but you're going to have issues with your data that isn't showing, that's kind of like normalizing and, what's it called? Isolating the graphics card. RTX 3060 12 gigabyte, 4060 8 gigabyte, 4060 Ti, 16 gigabyte GDR6. Okay, but what reason power chip Nvidia sell RTX 5060 8 gigabyte and GDR7? I don't know. I agree with you there. Well, what did Pete Dunn say? Did I miss it? Oh, yes, yeah. And then Sean responded, sadly, everyone isn't going to want to buy used. My buddy bought a card used and it died after a year. He's never going to buy a used card again. He bought a 5060. Yeah, that I definitely separate used versus new. If any video you guys watch me, if I'm ever comparing graphics cards and all of that, I always give my disclaimer that, like, yes, not everyone wants used. And if you are looking for other options, I usually try to like name them off. But I will never be a person that will look at a new graphics card compared to something used of the same price and act like that's a fair comparison. Like, that makes zero sense at all. If a used graphics card didn't perform as well and cost more than a new one, there would be no reason to buy it. There's a reason you buy used, and that is because you are saving money and kind of taking a slight risk with either out of warranty or the card not lasting as long, especially if it's older hardware. So anyone looking at, a graphics card like 5050 and saying, a card that was 4 or 5 years old at the same price gives better performance is the no-brainer buy. I don't take that argument. Hey, what up, Extreme Zone 987? What up? You got to stay home from work if it's Wednesday. Welcome to the stream. Just get a PS5? Bro. Do not ever bring console up. Oh, wait. Or are you talking to the other person who's talking about emulation? If you're Eric N., if you're talking about the 5050 and saying just get a PS5, let me know when the PS5 can play games like League of Legends and Valorant and World of Warcraft and all that stuff, because people like PC gaming. Oh, also when they have the equivalent of a Steam library where 10 years from now you can still play that same game, because console players can't do that, right? Like, someone who bought a digital PS3 game, they still can't play that on their upgraded PS5 nowadays. Or am I wrong about that? Can anyone confirm? I haven't been on console for years. But someone who bought 10 years ago a game on Steam, like Skyrim, and now it's 14 years ago, I'm playing Skyrim like right now. Like, you could play the same game on the platform you bought the game for like 20 years ago. So there's big differences between console and PC. In my opinion, even the like low-end hardware, running 45 to 60 FPS at 1080p, that gaming experience on a PC, I would rather do that than play on the newest, best version of the Xbox Series, whatever, or the PS5 Pro and PS6. It's just different. Like, being able to play your game and use browsers in the background, have multi-monitor set up with Discord and all that. Doing all that on a console just sucks. Like, flipping between Discord and like, I guess you could do browsers. Yeah, it's just horrible on a console. No, you can't play PS3 games on a PS5, only PS4 games on a PS5. Okay. And you can't play PS2 games either, right? And when the PS6 comes out, what's the backwards compatibility going to be like? So that's why I like to separate the console versus PC argument. Whoever wants to play on console, sure, let them play on console. But if people say they want to play on PC, don't ever bring console into the argument as if that is an alternative. Console does have its place. I agree. But PCs also have their place. they should not be like, I guess, intermixed. It's not it's not heresy to make heresy no, it's not hearsay, it's heresy to mention consoles here. You can mention consoles, but don't do it in the context of saying, oh, you want a PC but you only have this much money, go get console instead. The next Xbox is a PC. What's the next Xbox? You're not talking about the handheld thing, right? You posted some clips and stream submissions. Let me see. Stream submissions. Pog babies. Oh, hey, Christopher Yee. Let's take a look at this.
Oh my god, twins! Twin baby girls. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Dude, I know a lot of you guys have no fucking clue who I'm looking at right now. Danny, nerd on the budget, is the reason, like one of the core reasons I even got to, I say this like I'm retired, but like, he's one of the core reasons, he's the reason I like have my YouTube job, or had it, or whatever, however you want to say it. I'll make the long story short for those of you that haven't heard it. The reason I got...
That's awesome to see. Pog Babies 2? What's the difference? Why is there 2? Oh, it's because the clip length.
Again, my father like son. True! It's so like him to get a deal, actually, though.
Oh.
Yeah, eventually... Hi, Joanna! Oh my god, thank you so much for the 5 years. Enjoy your tombstone. Eventually, he stopped posting, and I got really sad because I looked forward to his weekly uploads. So, I decided I wanted to try making a video like him. Made my first video building a computer like him, like trying to buy it on Craigslist and all that shit. Uploaded it, forgot about it. I'll skip all the other details of my boss being a dickhead. Came back to look at that video like 6 months later, and it had like 10,000 views, and I was like, wait, what? I didn't know that, like, about like uploading in a niche and all the other bullshit, blah blah blah. Eventually, what happened is...
Thanks for posting that, Chris. Chris on to Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, even though Christopher Yee doesn't really make too much PC content and it's kind of like transitioned fully being a Twitch streamer, he's one of like the OGs from our circle group of friends, the Tech Fam, from in the early years of kind of all of our channels. So that's awesome to see. He looks like your older brother. I'm older than him, but I'm not sure by how much. I forget. I think a few years, but yeah. Thanks for posting that, Chris. That was great to see. I appreciate that. Okay, sorry, we got off track talking about consoles and stuff like that. Whoops, I'm gonna close these now. Why is this not scrolling? Okay, so let's look at some other graphs. Oh, here we go. Wait, I already let me open up this one. All right, let's see what they got here. 4 times frame rate with DLSS 4. So in this one, oh, you can't see the bottom ones, but it's fine. We don't really care about these games. Let's look at, I mean, Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Apex, these are kind of esporty games that kind of run well regardless of hardware. Anyways, Marvel Rivals, I think, is a little bit more demanding. Frostpunk, Stalker, Fortnite, Doom, Cyberpunk. So we take a look at the performance. This is comparing a 50-50 to a 30-50, which kind of weird in my opinion. Why look at something that's 2 generations old? Why not look at like the closest thing from the previous generation, the 4060, which you could have positioned it as, hey, that was, or that was $300. This one's gonna be $250. So it makes it kind of look better, but they chose the 3050 because it performs even worse. But frame generation, and they really had to pump on the ray tracing just because we know that the 2 generations of ray tracing performance is really going to make a big gap between these two. So to me, this chart from Nvidia is also kind of pointless. Nobody cares about I guess Nvidia always positions it like, you know how many people have the 3050? This card is for those people who are going to upgrade. If you're going to do that, then put, I guess, the B580, even though it's not available for MSRP, just put it on the chart anyways, because this used to be a thing that all the companies did. They would compare it to the, other competitors, not just to their own stuff from generations ago. So yeah, I feel like all these charts, they're definitely cherry picked and manipulative. It's just fun to look at them. Like, how ridiculous are they going to go with the different types of, the different formulas and settings that they go for the different games. Oh, Gray Man Media with the $5 super chat. Wait, did that play? Spitfire. Let me replay that Spitfire alert if I can do it. What are your thoughts on the GeekPi server cabinets? You think this is a trend, or will we see someone try to build home supercomputers in 2 years? GeekPi, I don't have any thoughts on them, but I can pull it up. Let's see. GeekPi for you server cabinets. Do you think this trend, someone will try to build home supercomputers in 2 years? Wait. So, is this just DIY build kits for... I guess, remember, I bought all the hardware for my home server journey, but I haven't started. You're probably talking like some of these bigger ones, right? Is there anything special about these GeekPi ones versus other brands that have existed in the past? Is this like more affordable or something? Nemus Dark says, why all the console hating? I grew up with consoles and PC. Yeah, no, I don't hate consoles. I just hate it when people bring consoles into a PC discussion. Like, if we talk about gaming, for sure, bring a console, but we're talking about, hey, these PC parts, and then someone says, just get a console instead of a PC. Honestly, I think even with a 5050 or a 3050 or, any of these unpopular low-end cards, the gaming experience on that is better than a console. Maybe not graphics-wise, but just from a user standpoint-wise, just how powerful, a PC is versus a limited console. Good morning, D-Man PC1. But yeah, Gray Man. Unfortunately, don't have many thoughts on this unless you care to elaborate a bit about what's so special about these. I guess if you just looked up like 8U, like what about these? Aside from the fact that they have handles, which I do like, these big rigid handles. I guess what about this specific brand coming out would make it so that a trend of someone to build a home supercomputer that they couldn't use any other case for, I guess. Okay, let's see. What else do we have from NVIDIA's official charts themselves? Okay, and then they have laptop stuff, which I'm not like too big into. Okay. Let's look at the side-by-side specs. Where I brought up the article. Okay. So if we were to look at these numbers, 50-50, and WCCF Tech did not put it next to a 4060, so we're going to compare it to the 5060. I need to do some math here. So 3840, 2560. So we're coming in 2/3 of the cores. GDDR6 versus GDDR7. Both have 128-bit memory bus. Memory speed 20 to 28. What is that? Let's see, 25. No, 4 is 1/5, 20. So that's a 40% increase to the 5060. The memory bus speed and bandwidth thing, I'm not too worried about with a card this low end because it's not that powerful of a card. Lacking in the memory department, I don't even know if I would consider this lacking. It might be fitting for it. Power interface 8-pin, launching in July, 130 watt versus 145. Where's the other specs? I did see Tech Power Up have it listed already. I don't know how they have it in the relative performance, which this seems kind of strange unless they have some insider information for the actual benchmarks itself. They have it behind the 1070 Ti. I don't know if I believe this, so I don't know if they just kind of threw this in there for now, and then they're going to fix the positioning once the benchmarking numbers actually come out. And I think they get review units too for them to test. So I would just ignore this, but this is just going to have the rest of the specs. And see, so I have this is going to give us more of a breakdown. So compared to, let's say the 4060, so the $300 card from last gen to 250 of this gen, probably, and according to their charts, it's going to be direct, side-by-side performance comparison. Oh man, why does Tech Power Up not line everything up the same way? So yeah, this is almost all the same. The only thing is the bandwidth is a little bit lower, but both GDDR6 8 gigs, 128-bit, 224 versus 272. Again, at the performance level of this card, I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal. Let's see. 96 versus 80 TMUs, so that's 20% difference there. 32 versus 48 ROPS, that's 2/3. No, that's 3/4, depending on how you look. 2/3 up, 3/4 down. Let's see. Also, less tensor cores, less ray tracing cores. I don't know. We'll just look at clock speeds. So this one's boost 2460, 2572. Just based on like the shader units, yeah, this one has 3,000 versus basically 2,500. So this is what is that? 20% less. I don't see how these cards are going to be. How did Nvidia get those numbers? How are these cards going to be basically the same without DLSS or frame generation? We're going to... How is this going to be possible just based on like the physical details of the card itself? $50-50 being 130 watt is kind of not interesting. If it was 75 watt, that would be neat. Something that doesn't need external power. Yeah. So actually, I pulled up an article on because they're already talking about low profile versions. I did not get to look at this yet. So they have low profile version. Let me see. Low profile 8 gigs. In terms of needing an external connector. Compact triple fan low profile, which is kind of interesting to see. Gigabyte Stacy small. Okay. Let me see. So this one, do they have more images? Maybe it comes in that. Oh, they don't have any images, but okay. So this one is still gonna need the because the PCI Express slot is only rated for 75 watts, so you're gonna have to have external power. This one definitely is not gonna be $250. These low profile cards always fetch for a premium, unfortunately, but it's giving some option. the low profile space, people always kind of have to kind of compromise for how much performance they can get out of it for form factor. So there will be a market for at least the 50-50 in this form factor for sure. Though I don't doubt even the normal size ones people are going to buy just for the price point. Because I said we're going to take a look at B580 prices. So let's do a check-in. How many months has it been now? That card released in December. We're coming up on like 6-7 months of this thing. And what is the lowest price I could buy this for today? $300. And it's going to be this Onyx Odyssey one. Sold and shipped by Newegg. I mean, these cards look pretty clean. The white one is not that much more expensive for $310. If you're building a white build and you're willing to pay, you know, the typical white parts tax, this doesn't seem like a bad option, because white parts are generally about this much more expensive anyways. So Patrick McGovern says PC all the way, but it's nice having an Xbox controller too because some games are just designed to work better with controller. I agree. Some games I play on my Xbox controller for sure. And more recently, I've been couch TV gaming with the twins since they've arrived, playing from, you know, just sitting on the couch with the Xbox controller when I was playing Skyrim and stuff like that. So, yeah. Brandon, good question. So what would the current best barrier to entry new GPU for an entry level 1080p build be in 2025? Brand new entry level. Well, as popular as the B580 is, the B570 isn't a bad option. Comes in at 280. I'm trying to think of, yeah, because used market's filled with stuff for more entry level builds. New, we don't have that many options right now. The 50-50, regardless of what people are going to say about it, I think the 50-50 is going to be a good option for a specific type of customer, right? It's going to be someone who refuses to buy in the used market, where they could for sure get better value on that. And it's going to be for someone who has like a hard stop budget, where it's like when people say, oh, just spend another $50, $60, $70, like some people don't just have that much more to spend on a card, even if it is better price to performance. Some people are just like, hey, I have exactly like $600 or something, and I want to build a computer. I'm young. My mom's not going to let me buy used parts. I have no idea on how to like part hunt. I can't even use Facebook Marketplace because I'm not old enough, etc. Right? It's gonna be for that market, but right now, for what exists, it's gonna be either the B570. I guess the 5060 at $300. There's not a better option at that price, unfortunately. I guess you could say 9060 XT, but let's just say I'm not going to call all the options like garbage tier like a lot of people are. But let's just say right now the options aren't great. You can get by. I've recommended a 4060 to a family member of mine just last year. But I hesitated in doing so because for the same price, I think we would have been able to get a 6700 XT. But, you know, they wanted to go with new with the warranty, so. Jake Dog, B580 gang. Yep, that's what I got in my system right now. Though, man, I'm starting to run into some weird issues sometimes with Premiere Pro. And I'm not going to blame the B580 for it because in gaming and stuff, it works perfectly fine. But Premiere Pro and my B580 have not really been getting along. And if it gets too bad, I might have to swap it out. I might even swap it out for like a 4060 Ti or something. Not super high end, but just Nvidia and Premiere Pro just like... it's the best combination. For most gamers, they're not going to care about that stuff. But for me specifically, because I do stream, because I do edit in Premiere, Nvidia is the better option. And I'm trying to make this B580 work, but sometimes it's just a little bit buggy and it makes me pull my hair out. And it was only recently too, so it must be one of the newer versions of Premiere Pro. What's your opinions on buying open box or new from Newegg? I'm looking for 5070s. I think open box on Newegg is fine. I don't think I've ever bought an open box graphics card. I bought multiple open box motherboards, never had an issue, and I would think graphics cards are a little bit more like rugged and resilient than motherboards are. Motherboards have like way more, exposed sensitive components on it. I would, if the price was right, I would buy an open box from Newegg. I would think right now a lot of the Newegg open box stuff is like people returning it after not being able to scalp the 50 series. So I don't think there's, especially ever since Newegg got called out and everything, I think if you got shipped an open box card, you definitely should test it as much as possible because I think, they still have their same warranty periods and stuff, but because for whatever reason it was opened or used prior and are being resold to you, in that small period of time that you have to be able to fulfill your return in the window, you should stress test the heck out of it just to make sure there's no problems. But I'm okay with buying open box stuff from Amazon, Newegg, from pretty much anywhere. I think I'd be okay with. Is user benchmark reliable when it says pieces are incompatible? I put details of a Micro Center bundle and it claims the RAM and motherboard are incompatible. User benchmark is, if you didn't know, I think a lot of people consider them to be the laughing stock of like the whole PC space. Do not go to user benchmark for information on PC hardware. Compatibility wise, you should use PC Part Picker. I would say I think sometimes they're overly cautious with regards to like BIOS and stuff like that. But no, user benchmark has a heavy bias against AMD specifically. This is a well-known fact. Like if you look up user benchmark in Reddit, you're going to find so many posts of people criticizing them and calling them out for their BS in the past. So you take your similar parts and put them into PC Part Picker. I think that would be a much better resource to use to look at compatibility. Oh, what is this? Shauner just posted this. Oh, 8GB card. Let me see. I got excited for a bit. I was like, gift card? So this with a Newegg gift card, with a $60 promotional gift card. And if you shop enough at Newegg, this is as good as cash. So this makes it $270, which is not as bad. See, if we look at Hardware Unboxed, I think did a comparison video with these, and I love the testing that they do, but they definitely, I think, they choose the worst case scenarios for sure. What the heck? Hey, my video came up and it shows that I'm live. What? Okay. Let's see. So if we looked at 8GB versus 16GB 9060 XT benchmarks, and I think let's look at hardware for gamers. Is this a real benchmarking channel? I want to look at more sources. I've already seen the hardware unbox thing that basically says the 8GB version is so bad that, oh wait, what? No, this isn't right. Sorry. No. Oh, has no one done that side-by-side testing? Daniel Owen did. Okay. Oh my god, this video is 49 minutes long. Okay. Monster Hunter. Like, let's look at Spider-Man 1440p max. It is really hard to read the numbers on there. Dang it, Daniel, why don't you put a thing in the back? A background. For a card like this, I think 1440p medium or high would be what you would be playing at. I mean, the numbers... You have 1% lows for sure. Oblivion Remaster obliterates games. Medium. Let's see. Seems there's a couple used 3070 8GB available for $250 to $270. That might be a reasonable choice for a more budget focused build. I think we're the 6700 XT and 3070s for around that price range. They both go for around that much last time I checked. Are definitely good used options, but I was more of going answering for the people who wanted only new, which we don't have any options right now because they've kind of axed some of the older ones. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Where else we got? Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's take a look at that at 1440. That's with DLSS. It's too hard. It was way too hard to read the chart. I guess some of these other channels have not tested it yet. I guess no one really cared. Not many people cared about the 8GB card. F user benchmark. All my homies hate user benchmark. User benchmark is only good for the lulls. I think user benchmark, because they do collect user data. If you go here and let's just do like a CPU comparison, right? I think for like if you're looking for very specific things, like a quick reference of performance based on like actual numbers, I don't think they like wipe like data like that. So let's say if I wanted to compare a 12600K, right? And I'm going to compare that to a, let's say compare it to a Ryzen 7600. Ryzen 5 7600X, sure. Right? So we have these two next to each other. User benchmark is showing that it is that the Ryzen is faster, right? Oh wait, what is this? Why is user benchmark heavily criticized online? Marketers are smearing our reputation as part of the coordinated misinformation campaign. Well, there's been plenty of situations that has been shown that they've been heavily biased. But if you're just looking at the raw data, right? Because like going online to try to find like 12600K CPU specific benchmarks versus a 7600X that's like not a part of a video, it's kind of hard to do that online. It might take a while. But if you go here, I think they do combine results that are user submitted, if I can find it. I thought they did. Where's all the benchmarks? They do have the specs side by side, so, and like the age and stuff, so that's kind of useful. Like user benchmark, at least their written articles are pretty bad. If you're going to use it kind of like Tech Power Up just to look at the specs of stuff, from what I've seen, it's not like they're lying about that. In terms of like how many watts it is, how old it is, the process, the clock speeds, all that is good and dandy. But where is I thought they like actually showed, okay, external data. Where is like so they're showing like Tech Power Up, Tom's Hardware stuff. I could have sworn they showed like Cinebench data, which for a very quick reference, I think it's fine to look at user benchmark for, but I definitely would stay away from their, where's their articles at? Oh, I'm at CPU.user benchmark. That's why I need to go to user benchmark. But yeah, if you just take a look at any like graphics card review. Here we go. Oh, right. Look at how this is written. Okay, so this is on the 9070 XT. Pretty, like, well-praised card, aside from the price. But the card itself, if MSRP held true, it's pretty good. But look at how they are writing this. If you are considering an AMD 9000 series CPU because you have been influenced by Reddit, Twitter, or wealthy tech YouTubers, it's worth understanding AMD's track record. So right off the bat, they're already trying to like discredit AMD based on their past like generations and graphics cards. While their GPUs are often great at beating cherry-picked benchmarks, they normally fall short in real-world gaming performance. I don't think that's true at all. And that's coming from, I would consider myself pretty unbiased. Every year, an army of influencers target first-time buyers, declaring AMD a godsend for PC gamers. Was this written by Jason Whitmer? Come on. Okay. I'm trying to lure Jason out if he's in the chat lurking. But this would be something sarcastic that Jason would say. But, okay. Reading that first paragraph, what are your thoughts about this website and their, written articles? Do you have good feelings about that? Every year, a small percentage of users get duped. They're talking about 9000 series AMD cards. This review stinks worse than poop from a butt. So bad, so biased. I would know a lot about poop from the butt right now. And yeah, this is like a level of petty and unprofessionalism that like you don't really see at the other more respected PC like tech outlets, right? But yeah, so that's why you should stay clear of their opinions at least. If you're just looking at specs and sometimes like benchmarks and things like that, the numbers aren't too like the numbers are the numbers. And it is aggregated by a bunch of users and stuff. So unless they go in and cherry pick, stuff and delete it to make it AMD look bad, which I don't think they do. You just have to know what you're looking for if you're looking at this website, or just ignore it altogether and go to other better websites. Peter Dunn upgraded to Nerd on a Big Budget. Peter, thanks for the channel membership support. I appreciate it. What up, Techie Tech? You are late. You are about an hour late, but welcome to the stream regardless. What up? I'd rather watch benchmarking videos from reputable sources. Yeah, I would do so too. But sometimes I do like static web pages of data. Because sometimes especially when they don't have, that's a big difference between like watching a Gamer's Nexus, like review video and Hardware Unboxed, where the Hardware Unboxed team, they average out everything at the end of the video, whether it be like a CPU or a graphics card. Whereas Gamer's Nexus, like you literally have to go to each section with each benchmark, but there's no averaging out across like all the CPU intensive workloads or all the gaming workloads and stuff like that. So that you can get kind of a umbrella overall understanding of it. So, but on a website, instead of having to click through all the different timestamps on a little tiny timeline on either your phone or on a PC screen, you could just go through and read it like really quickly. So I'm not saying to do that on user benchmark, but when I go to Tech Power Up and stuff like that, it's nice to see I can look at relative performance and I can click on the specific thing and all that. So yeah, sometimes I like the video benchmarks for sure. I do my own side-by-side benchmarks, but I also do appreciate the written websites as well. Scroll up a bit. They have a user rating. Okay, let me see. User rating. You talking about this right here? But if I clicked on, what is a user rating? Is this literally what people rate their own CP? Let's see. Upvote. Oh, this is just based on upvotes and downvotes like Reddit? Because yeah, if you look at the user rating, um the 12600K is like the best. Well, I mean, this is kind of skewed too because probably less people have the higher end, more expensive CPUs. This is like a 12600K, $150 right now, anyways. I think it was like 200 something when it released. It's kind of like the Steam hardware survey. The most used stuff is the highest percentages that make it up because that's the most affordable things. Yeah, look at the top. All the top ones are Intel, and I don't think that's by any fault of the users for voting like this. It's just look at the prices of these processors. They're like all sub $200, except for the 14700K. Apparently, that's pretty popular on here. But yeah. Oh, you're saying on the 9070 XT one. All right, let me see. 9070 XT. Is it even on here? Okay, so here's user benchmarks. Best rated GPU. A 4060 is at the very top. A Steam hardware survey would probably agree with this. But if you ask the average person probably in this chat or on Reddit or on Twitter or on YouTube comments or something, there would probably be at least some AMD graphics cards up here. But let's see how far we have to scroll. So at number 1 is 4060, number 2 4060 Ti, 4070, 3060, 3060 Ti, 1660 Super. How far do we have to scroll down until we even see any? Here, really, the RX 590 is the top rated, user rated. Okay, what's up with these user ratings? Is it because people who aren't Nvidia fanboys don't use user rating at all, or user benchmark at all? This is actually pretty funny to see because after the RX 590, it's all Nvidia. Oh, here's a 5700. So none of the new kind of popular, well-received AMD cards are up here. We've got some of the older gen stuff, even though we do have new like 40 series Nvidia cards. Huh. I would think that a 6700 XT, 6600, 6600 XT would pop up, but nope. Wow. Oh, there it is. Near the bottom of the top 50 right here. User rating is just confirmation bias. Yeah, definitely is what we're seeing here. Like the guy who writes it definitely. Well, I don't think it's just one guy. I think it's multiple people. If we were to look at the, so let's take a look. So user benchmark. Wait, where's the review? Oh, here it is. Based. Oh wait. Didn't they used to have the like the person's name who writes the little excerpts? Oh, right here. GPU Pro. Is this the guy? Yeah, so he writes a bunch of them, but does he do all of them? Let me see. 9070 XT. GPU Pro. I don't know if that's the owner of the website itself. GPU Pro. CPU Pro. So these are different people, it seems. At least there's different accounts. But yeah, I don't know. User benchmark, that's a whole can of worms that you could get into and talk about. We're kind of straying far from the Nvidia. I guess we're done talking about the 5050, right? Because all we have right now are the numbers, which Nvidia do show. It's so funny that if you look at the actual product page for the 5050, so here's the pricing information, all of that. And you go down here to the specs. If you wanted to compare it to previous gen, which I kind of appreciate Nvidia for having this on the page, they don't show you the full specs side by side of like kind of the useful information. Like, sure, okay, architecture, whatever, like DLSS 3 versus 4, AI tops, tensor core. Like, I don't care that it's 5th versus 4th gen tensor cores. Tell me the amount. Tell me the amount of ray tracing cores. But when you click on the full specs, that's where you get them, right? That's where you get the, at least I think, where's the listed, power cores. Oh, wow, they didn't even include it here. I thought they would have. Like, You have to go to Tech Power Up or other websites to look for that information. The side-by-side comparison that they're putting in front of your face, it's a lot of useless information. I mean, you know why they do it. It's because they try to make it look good. Everything on the 50/50 column looks better than on the 40/60 column, but you don't know by how much because it's just saying like, oh yeah, memory bandwidth is improved, same memory configuration, but like AI tops, I guess that's not doubled, but kind of close to double. But yeah, just having the next generation of tensor and ray tracing cores without actually listing the count is kind of useless. Would a RX 6600 to its 9060 XT be worth it? I would say so. 9060 XT is priced well enough, and 6600. I mean, let me see. What would be the closest comparison? It's better than the 6700 XT, but it's worse than the 6800 XT. I think it's like a 6800, so it's like a couple tier jump up from it. I would say so. Yeah, you do get a nice memory increase, especially if you get the 16 gig mod. You're doubling it up, and you're getting a 7700 XT level card. Demon Mitt says the point was lost. Yeah, let's see what you were trying to say. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Effective speed. What is effective speed versus what? Average score plus 75%. What is it based on? Value sentiment negative 1280. What does a negative value mean? User rating negative 102%. Huh. Has there never been a brigade of like normal-minded people trying to go user benchmark to like fix their skew and their bias? At least on the user rating side of things. Most arbitrary ranking ever? Yeah. They include value and sentiment numbers to calculate the overall performance of the card when comparing one versus one. Okay, we gotta go back to that. All right. So if we click on this, I'm trying to find where that value and sentiment is on the more detailed overclock. Value and sentiment. Okay, here we go. User rating 40%. Like, what is this? Oh, do I have to choose a different? Let's choose the 5070 Ti. Sure. They're about the same. Like, it's what people compare to each other. So are these two cards side by side? Yep. Well. Market share. 0.08% versus 1.6. That's like insanely higher market share. Yeah, 2000%. Where's that value and sentiment though? What does market share and user rating have to do with the value and like the performance per dollar, which is what value would be? Sentiment, I guess that makes sense. That's just like how people feel about the card, and if they're buying way more Nvidia cards, then yeah, sure. Though I don't know, 2,000% more. Do we believe these numbers? I feel like at least online, maybe. I mean, it's probably likely that places like Reddit and like YouTube comments and Twitter and stuff, people who actually go out of their way to participate in discussions or like in the PC hardware community. That are a little bit more thoughtful or critical of like hardware and stuff like that. They're the vocal minority, but when it comes to just straight up sales and people just buy graphics cards without even giving a second thought about it and participating and discussing it online, it might just be that, yeah, they are selling that many more Nvidia cards. But this seems, I don't know. If you look on Reddit, it would tell you a different story, that everybody's buying up 9070s and 9070 XTs and nobody's touching, at least at Micro Centers anyways. If you look at the stock at Micro Center, there's plenty of Nvidia cards sitting on the shelves. It looks like AMD is moving more, but that's only like one, data point. I get a negative on user benchmark for my mouse. They're showing 50 cents as like 30% faster than 970 XT because of value and sentiment numbers. Yeah, this is, well, I'm not sure if they're showing it like 30% faster. Effective speed, okay, 24%. I'm trying to see where the benchmarks are. Real world speeds, great bench. When I click it, I guess I've never really dug deep into the different tests that go into to how they score. But the value and sentiment numbers, there's a lot of different sections. Let me see. Overclock score. Okay. Yeah, so we just go like to effective speed and average score. Like, what does this mean? Lighting. Lighting? Do they talk about what? This benchmark measures the GPU's ability to render complex lighting transport effects like soft shelf. Yeah, but what's the actual test itself? Oh, is this their own test? I've actually never run a user benchmark test. Maybe we should do that on one of these streams. Free download, GPU user benchmark. So this is based on their own test suite. Okay. Interesting. Reflection. Okay. So not real world tests. There's no methodology. I said, let me see this. The value and sentiment part of the calculation is effective speed of the comparisons, which is literally stupid. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Gravity. User builds with the CPU. Graphics card ranking. Gaming. If I clicked on this. Yeah, so they just have like some very, it looks like synthetic, tests. Wait, did they, I could have sworn user benchmark used to like take in numbers. Maybe I'm thinking of a different website that took in numbers from like Cinebench and PC Mark and stuff like that, and also aggregated that. Am I thinking of something else? Maybe I was thinking of like CPU Monkey or something. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, I could have sworn, I thought in the past user benchmark had sections like this, or this is like more useful because it's an actual like known benchmark that you could test against yourself and not whatever quote unquote proprietary or special, maybe biased programs that user benchmark may be using. But yeah, see, when you go to something like CPU Monkey, is there a GPU Monkey? Huh. But anyways, you could see other benchmarking results that they gather data from, that stuff that people recognize. Passmark, Blender, Geekbench, things like that. CPU-Z has a built-in benchmark. So, okay, I think I might have been thinking that user benchmark does the same thing, but it doesn't look like it. No, user benchmark is pure brain rot. Yeah. No, I think it would be fun. I need to write this down to make a video about user benchmark. That's a potential video idea for the future. Nathan Tasker Force. I never go to user benchmark. They're the lowest tier of tech journalism, if you can ever call it journalism. If you can even call it journalism. There are more other reputable sources like Tom's Hardware. I trust more. Yeah, Tom's Tech Power Up. and just any what. Let's see what comes up. So let's see. And I'm gonna look up. So there's CPUbenchmark.net. I swear even this one probably gives better numbers. Average CPU mark. Oh, this is from Passmark. Yeah, so Passmark I trust. What else? TechSpot. Which does anyone know the whole TechSpot versus hardware and box relationship? Because Steve does like a ton of stuff for TechSpot, and when I first started like getting into the YouTube tech scene, I thought Hardware Unboxed was a part of TechSpot, but I don't think that's the case. I think Steve just maybe contracts for them or something, or does anyone know the relationship there? Tom's Tech Power Up, user... A non-tech, RIP. When they were still around, I consider them a trusted source as well. Man, how long has it been? It's coming up on a year now, huh? RIP a non-tech. And 3D Mark as well. You can look at and compare stuff there as well. So yeah, there's plenty of, and Passmark, there's plenty of other sources that you can get to for comparing hardware. And my mother-in-law just got here, and they're talking about something that she purchased that my wife didn't want her to buy. Huh. I'll figure that out later. I think Steve contracts for them. At least that's what it seems. Yeah. I've not read anywhere like the exact relationship that they have, but that's what I make of it as well. I thought it was contractual, but not positive. Wait, what? You think he doesn't have a positive relationship? I feel like everything he does for Hardware Unboxed, it goes directly to here. Like, literally, there's the articles here using screen grabs from the videos and the data that he captures. So it seems very like a synergistic relationship. Melissa bought you a new GPU? No, yeah, right. If only. She's constantly asking what I want for like holidays or my birthday and stuff, and I never have an answer for her because I don't want her buying my PC hardware. I don't want to tell her and for her to buy it too. It's one of those things. I just want to buy it myself. Oh, gotcha. You meant not positive as in like, but you're not positive about it. You're not sure. Got it. I read it as like, but it's not a positive relationship. Yeah, got it. It would be ironic to light one of Jensen's leather jackets on fire from a fire that started from a 1590. The circle has been complete. Yeah, this is a good point. Nice versions of everyday stuff that you use that you wouldn't buy for yourself because it's too expensive, but because it's a gift, it's nice to get. But even then, like, I don't know what to ask for. This mic was a good one though. This isn't PC hardware, but her getting me this DJI wireless mic, this was a good one. I use it every single week on stream. I use it in all my videos. I'm getting a lot of use out of it. But there's not many instances of things that come up that I need. So, okay. What else did I have? Bu- 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 Micro Center gift cards, bruh. The day they open a Micro Center around in the Washington State, hopefully near Seattle, within an hour or so, I will be there day one. But until then, I can only hope. Nine-hour trip for me to go to Micro Center. Did it. It's okay, lol. I mean, Demon Mint, are you still building a ton of PCs and selling, or have you slowed down on it? I mean, for a lot of the builds that you've posted in the past, I feel like the plugs that you have to get used hardware is where you make most of your money. Even though Micro Center has great deals, like the fact that you're still paying pretty much close to MSRP for a lot of things, I feel like you can't make, unless it's like the higher end stuff, it's harder to make money off of. But if you're doing like mid range builds and stuff, I feel like the used market would be more profitable. So yeah, for Micro Center, I feel like for the average person who only just builds their one-off PC and they want like a good combo bundle deal once, and they're not like trying to do it like profit from it, it's definitely a good brick and mortar store to have. Slowed down, but going back to it, the combo deals are nice for Micro Center, but the 9-hour round trip, yeah, it makes it not worth it at all. Gas wise, or even electricity wise, I don't know if you have an EV or not, but and the time wise, like how much is an hour of your time worth? 9 hours round trip. That is, even at like let's say $20 an hour or something. That's 180, not counting the gas. I live in Tulsa. We have terrible access to PC hardware here. My PC used market has been, it seems somewhat let's take a look. Actually, I'm curious. If I can't find a 1050, I'm gonna have to buy one locally. So let's see what my local OfferUp has. So if I wanted to find a GTX 1050, I think these are still stupidly priced. $75, $80, $170. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. We're going local only. Also, it would be fun to get this 1050 because this is the card that they did the comparison to. So then I could do my own comparisons to see if it gets literally 70 times with frame generation and DLSS and all that crap that Nvidia does. That would be a fun video to actually test against their charts. But I really hope I can find the one that I think I have, because I'm not trying to spend $75, $80, $70. These cards, oh, interesting. This one's going for, oh, this is a 1050 Ti. I don't want that. I just want a base 1050. $40. It's for a Ti. I want a non-Ti. But this is the one that I had. $135. Ew, it's the Dell one. I had this one. But yeah, see, this is the definition of a price floor right here. Graphics card capable of just being used for gaming to any degree. Never gonna get below a certain value. And we're seeing it right here. Wait, why do you need a 1050? I need a 1050 to do a revisit video and to do a comparison to Nvidia's ridiculous claims from that chart that we saw. So there's 2 videos that I can get out of it. And I need to find it if I do have it. It's to do it to compare it to this. Because Nvidia in this chart is comparing it to a base 1050. They're saying using the 1050 as a baseline at 1x, how much more powerful are each of the cards? And if you compare it to like a 5050, they're saying it's at least 11 times better raster, or like over 60 times faster when you use frame gen and DLSS. So it's just an interesting video revisiting an old budget card. Picked up a 1030 for 15 CAD last year. That is a good price. I don't even know what a 1030 would be going for in my area. There's none. Or at least on OfferUp. I have to get it shipped to me. And look at these prices. A 1030 Ti. What the? A 1030 Ti? I don't even know what this is. Could be a typo, either 1030 or 1050. I don't even know what manufacturer this is from. There's a dragon, but that I don't think. The power color card, they used to have their power color red. Oh no, colorful. I'm blind. I can't read upside down. It's a colorful card. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think a 1030 was ever a TI, so they either typoed it or they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, it's a GT 1030. That's why it didn't come up. I could get a GT 1030 for $55. Ain't no one trying to buy one for that much. That's too much. Here's a budget PC with one in it. With the 4790, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 1030 for $150. Nah, not worth. Come on, Micro Center. Come to Washington. Agreed. Phoenix is getting a Micro Center soon. Santa Clara one just opened up too. Yeah. Let's look at the Micro Center map. Let's take a look at where Micro Center isn't. So we look at the location of all the Micro Centers. So you're saying Phoenix is getting one. Nice. Okay. So you guys are getting the first one for your state. The fact that, my God, New York has 4 of them. Look at these over here on the right side. It's unfair. And this one too. In Georgia, like at least put them further apart. We ain't getting no love in the northern northwest region at all. I have a 1050 Ti I bought in late 2021, so that was during the kind of like pandemic shortages for $90. Sounds about right. Are you still using it? I'm shocked Vegas never got one. What's more shocking, Vegas not getting one or Seattle, where literally Amazon, Microsoft, Valve, I can name off ArenaNet. There's so many like tech companies up here. How do we not have one? Impossible Kale says 5050 is a huge scam GPU. Will be worse than the 3060. Not according to Nvidia. So I'm very curious to see like how Nvidia came up with those charts. If it comes in at a 4060, which their charts say, and they're the only ones who have been able to really test it. I don't think there's any leaked benchmarks of it yet. So if it's coming in 250 for basically 4060 performance, even though it's still 8 gigs, I think it's not like a card that, I'm going to recommend to people, but I can see it selling well on Newegg and Amazon. $50.50 equals a 50.30. Well, if we know how the performance of 30 series cards are, I'm not sure I would go that far. I honestly don't care how they name cards. They can name it wherever the hell they want. It's all about the performance versus what you can get for the same amount of money or how that scales, like performance per dollar spent. That's all I care about. They can name these cards wherever the hell they want. Again, if it comes in at a 4060 level at $250, I don't think calling it a 5030 would have been accurate. But again, I don't care about the naming. There's a drought in the West, indeed. I mean, even California having 2 of them for as big of a state it is, like how is it that past this line, there's 2 and it's only in 1 state? Which I get it, Silicon Valley, California. A lot of the companies that make, or a lot of these PC hardware companies, are headquartered or located here. Nvidia is here, so I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but still, like, my goodness, this whole region. But Ohio gets 3. Yeah, all 3 of Ohio's. Yeah. Um, is it? Aren't they based in Columbus? Let me see. Aren't they headquartered there? I think that's the reason why. It's headquarters in Hilliard. Which, do they even have a location there? I don't know Ohio cities, so I don't know if any of these cities are basically near there. But yeah, I mean, they're headquartered there. So did they start out there? Yeah, it was founded in Columbus, Ohio, but it's not headquartered there. Okay. So that's the reason why they have 3. Yeah, they get the they definitely get the pass on having 3. New York, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah. So my thinking is they don't have one in Seattle is because property value is like, or rent is like very high. That must be the only reason, because when it comes to population density, Seattle and the tech scene, it's huge. So I don't know what makes New York make more sense to have like 4 micro centers in New York. I don't imagine rent or property there is that cheap. I do understand the population density thing. I would think Seattle is more techy, at least in that space. With like PC hardware, we got Microsoft, Amazon, Valve again, like I said. So yeah, I don't know. Bad thing is they don't ship either, and I live in Washington. Yeah, they sell through Amazon. Micro Center sells through Amazon. But definitely the deals are had in store. Like if you wanted, let me go to the Micro Center store. So Micro Center has a store on Amazon, but I don't think any of like they're not selling their graphics cards through here. They're selling like, wow, wait, seriously? Let me see. Home. Do they have AMD bundles? Okay, they do have AMD bundles. I was about to say if they only had Intel ones to try to move Intel chips. But I don't think any of these deals are particularly amazing. Do they even have their X3D chips as a part of these deals? Oh, they do. $609. I don't know if that's really considered a deal for a 7800 X3D X670E board. Bu- bu- Let me see if there's any MSRP models of these. This is like pretty much if you've got 350 to 400 for a graphics card, 9060 XT is the go-to. Brand new anyways. Used, you might be able to get something that performs better. But so yeah, it's 350 model out of stock. Open box, 16 gig. This isn't bad. I would buy this one. Yeah, it's only 10 over MSRP. I don't mind open box. I mean, I would be able to test it. Actually, let me take a look at the open box. What are the... And it would still come with the 3D Mark software. Open box disclaimer. What is the open box disclaimer? Refund. You still have the manufacturer's warranty, and then you have 30 days refund. So it's not any different than buying new. Open box product consists of items that were previously opened, may have been unused or minimal use. Okay. Inspect to ensure they are working. Only guarantees your receipt of the open box product with the purchased item. And accessories may not be in there. Okay. Box usually do not come with... Wait. Oh, they usually do not come with manufacturer, vendor warranty, or technical support. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm thinking of Good Guy EVGA, who had open box, which gave extended warranty. However, warranty may be available if the item was never registered. Wait. Okay, wait. I mean, what is your guys' understanding of reading this? My understanding is, if you buy an open box item, let's say from the manufacturer date of the card, you know, all these cards have like, what's the standard? Let me see what the warranty is for this card. But my understanding is, if the card is still within the original warranty, you should be fine. But are they saying there's not even the original warranty? Because these cards are like a couple of months old. You should still have a warranty, but maybe it's nulled because you're the second owner. Yeah, so 2-year warranty on these cards typically, but the open box version, it seems like they were saying you don't even get that. Let's see, Sapphire, GPU, open box warranty. Let me see, limited warranty. For warranty service, please contact your dealer reseller. They require proof of purchase. Huh. A limited warranty is offered on all Sapphire products. All warranty require or inquiries are to be directed to your initial place of purchase. The limited warranty is only applicable to the original purchase, only to the original purchaser, and may not be transferred. Oh. Ooh, okay, maybe I changed my mind. I would need a bigger discount, I think. Because what is the price difference between the brand new one? You can get it for brand new for so for $10 more? Okay, don't get the open box. I was thinking that this was a little bit more, but this is in stock. Yeah, what? Why would you not spend the extra $10 to get the actual 2-year warranty? What kind of Newegg? Are you guys high? Why would you price it like that? Yeah. No, it's a $20 difference. But even then, I think $20 is worth it to spend if this one doesn't come with more than the 30-day warranty. I'll pay the $20 extra to get this card right here and get the full 2 years. Who's crying? Why is she crying? Are you holding her and she's still crying? Oh. Okay. Almost. Oh. This is the same one that Shauner posted about earlier, except it's an even bigger. Yeah, because this one's the 8GB card. You're spending, for some reason, $380, but you get a $110 Newegg gift card off. So it still comes out to $270, except you're locked into a bigger Newegg gift card. Yeah, if I bought a 9060 XT for use in my own system, because the Hellhound one I have won't fit, it would probably be the Sapphire one. I would choose Sapphire over ASRock. She misses her daddy. Nah, she's just hungry. They're feeding her and she stopped crying. No. It doesn't mean no. Let me see. Open box 5070. Let me look this up. So which one were you thinking of? 5070 open box. Like you're looking at this Asus one, or man, even open box is. Let me see what the warranty is on this, because it might just be Sapphire that is like that manufacturer open box disclaimer. Okay. Because Asus might cover it. It might just be specific. Asus open box warranty. Asus only provides 90-day warranty for open box devices. Asus generally offers 90-day warranty for open box products, which is shorter than standard 1-year warranty for new items. Newegg. It depends on what the price difference is. So you're looking at, aren't 5070s cheaper than this? Brand new. All these prices are. I could have sworn I was seeing them for like closer to 550. We gotta go to build the PC sales. I could have sworn 5070s went out, at least in the Discord server, for the alerts I was seeing. Let's see, new postings. I feel like 8 hours ago, 3 days ago. Let me look at like the last week. Is this Best Buy? Best Buy has been having restocks of MSRP 5070s. I think they sell out quite. Is this available? Act fast. Only one at a nearby store. Yeah, look. Maybe you might not have one near you. You could get a new, and PNY is a perfectly good brand for Nvidia cards. But I'm seeing, at least near me, 550, brand new. I could add to cart right now, and there's one available. I think these do sell out pretty quickly, but as opposed to buying open box, spending more money at Newegg, yeah, this is the same card at Newegg is out of stock. But the open box, Asus Prime, I would be good with the PNY one. I would buy that brand new from Best Buy over, these overpriced open box ones. Asus warranty department is a joke. There's always that thing too. People are still unhappy with Asus and how they've treated customer warranties in the past. And this was only like a year and a half ago. So yeah, there's always that too. Saw a 6900 XT Founders on Amazon for $659. I need to refresh myself on the performance. That's like what, a 4070 Ti-ish level? Or is it? No, it's only a 4070 for $659. So where are we comparing that to? 6900, not 6950. For $659, doesn't seem worth it. The only reason it's that expensive, I think, is because it's the Founders Edition. The reference cards from either Nvidia or AMD, they retain their value a lot more. I would say I would not get that. For $660, I feel like you can get a better card. And anything that is above it on this list would be a better buy. You used to be able to get a 7900 GRE for that, but unfortunately not anymore because the price of those went up. So, I mean, you're looking at, for $659, isn't that easily into 9070 territory in stock? At least at Micro Center, that should be doable. Let me see what 9070 non-XTs are going for now. Like, why not get something 2 generations newer? Right here, 9070 for $600. And this is just better in every way. PNY is fine. I don't know where you heard PNY is not good. I think it's just because it's not one of, it's like people are very familiar with Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, and then when you go to the other brands that are kind of Nvidia exclusive, like Zotac and PNY and stuff, people are just less familiar with them. PNY are good cards. Jack Pepper says, what is a good way to get a PC for under $400? Should I get a pre-built or should I build myself? Are you capable of building yourself? $400. Ooh, that's like, that's kind of a, I would say, if you can, I feel like there's so many people selling their old PCs that you can sometimes strike a decent deal. So let me look at gaming PC in my local area. I know it's not your area, but this kind of gives you an idea of like what might be around for certain prices. So for $400, if you're trying to build your own, I mean, that's a pretty limited budget. You're gonna be looking at like $150 for the graphics card, and then you're gonna kind of have to cheap out on everything else, like the case, power supply, motherboard, and all that. And you're gonna have to buy used, so you're gonna have to deal hunt a bunch of stuff, or you can save yourself the hassle and try to find someone who might just be selling a put together system because they upgraded for $400. So let's see in my area, we'll put $450 and see what people are listing. So here's a 2017 CyberPower PC with a 12100F with a 6500 XT, 8 gigs of memory only. Okay, that's not that good. 400 is pretty limited if you're going to buy pre-built, but sometimes people let their stuff go for decent. This has a 1080, so Ryzen 2600, so we're going to be looking at older Ryzen here. 1080 graphics card, two 256 SATA SSDs, custom gaming PC. This one has a 2070 Super 9400F. This is about what you're going to expect to get. And unless you're like pretty good at deal hunting, you're not going to be able to really build much better than this yourself. For $400, I would have to like kind of really, take time to deal hunt, use coupon codes from AliExpress, all that stuff to get a PC that's noticeably better than this. Let me see what else. What about Dell Optiplex? Dell Optiplexes aren't bad. You could always do a Dell Optiplex, buy a power supply, slap in a graphics card. You can do that type of build. But you want to at least, I would say by this point, if you can push for at least 10th gen, $400 PC build, you're looking at like, if you're building it yourself, I think it'd be tough to get 12th gen because of how expensive the motherboards are, LGA 1700. Like, you would have to look towards 10th gen Intel parts, which are more reasonably priced. Like, you can get a 10100F for what, $60 used. I don't think you can get a 10400s jump up in price. Yeah, so a 10400 is $80. For $400, it's kind of hard to fit an $80 CPU in, because then you still have to buy the motherboard, the graphics card, power supply, SSD, RAM, case, etc. So, I mean, you're looking at like 10th gen i3 to be able to comfortably build it. So, yeah. I haven't done a $400 build in a while, but I'm pretty sure the last $400 PC build I did is still pretty applicable because the hardware prices have not changed much since I last did a $400 build, which I think was at this point like a year and a half or 2 years ago. It was for that $400 PC challenge. This thing right here. Let's take a look at what specs I got, and we'll see if the pricing in today's market reflects that. 11th gen for PCIe Gen 4. It's not a problem if you're using graphics cards that have by 16. But yeah, no, you're right. If you're using a graphics card that is sensitive to PCIe Gen 3 or 4, then you're gonna have to push for 11th gen. But let me see what I got here. What was it? So this was about $400. And like you can easily find cases. What is this? Get out of my, oh my gosh. Okay, so $60 for a case, doable. $45 for any kind of power supply used. What's up? Yeah, I can grab Mia. Was a good deal. How did I score this? $20 for 512. This was a different time because this was 2 years ago. This would be harder to do now. SSDs, half a terabyte, I think would normally be like 30 something. 16 gigs of RAM, that's about doable. The graphics card, again, you're gonna have to be able to look in your market. Hello.
She awake.
All right, thank you. Hello. We're gonna finish stream in the next 10 or 15 minutes here, but let's see. H410, I think I bought that. I forgot where I bought that from. Amazon or Newegg, open box probably. 10100F used for, again, I got it for 53, but they're going for around that much. ID cooling, $20 cooler. So I would say this $400 bill that I did, when was this? June 2023. All these parts, they haven't changed in price. I think this 5700 XT, I got a good deal at the time for it. I think they're still going for around 130. Maybe you can get an RX 6600 instead. How you doing, love? What's wrong? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So, yeah. If you want to follow a build template, maybe you can get an 11100F instead and not use a $60 case, buy like a used case in your local area from someone who upgraded for like $20 or something. I would say this is like a decent template to follow. Can you send the video for the link, or link for the video? Yeah, I will send it. Excuse me. What's wrong, love? Did you just got fed? What's wrong? Maybe you need to be burped. Oh, please don't spit up all over my new hoodie. Yeah, let me link the video. Give me 1 second. What's wrong, love? Oh, you're being fussy. But yeah, Jack Pepper, I would say you're gonna have to, again, I use some used parts in here. You're gonna have to be flexible. You're not gonna be able to find everything exactly as is in this. But I think this gives you like kind of a starting point of what to look for. And yeah, just be mindful depending on the graphics card. Depending on which one you use, if you're using like something newer that has like ×8 PCIe, then it's going to be more important to get high, like Gen 4 at least. But if you're using something that's older that was ×16, it's not as big of a deal, PCI Gen 3 versus 4. So just be aware of that. What's wrong, love? You already have a 750 Ti? Well, that's going to save you some money. But a 750 Ti, that's something that you would put in like a $200 build. The performance level that you would expect out of a $400 build, you wouldn't really use the 750 Ti in it. Like, I would never build a $400 PC build and put a 750 Ti in it because those cards usually go for like 40 to 50 bucks, which is like a totally different budget range. Hi, love. How's it going? Maybe you want me to walk around. Okay. Okay, we walk. We walk, we walk. We walk. And then you're good. You got it for $75? When did you buy a 750 Ti for $75? You should have been able to at least score like a GTX 1060 or like an RX 580 for that price. Easily. Probably for that much, you should be able to get... It's hard to say 1070 because those are still going for like closer to 90. But yeah, there's much more powerful graphics cards that you should have been able to buy for 75. Even on eBay, I feel. Oh, 1 year ago? Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then you already have your graphics card locked in. I would still say that's not something I would put in a $400 PC build. But if that's what you have, it's going to be very limited. as to what you can play. Did they make those in 4 gigabytes? Have I tried turning the baby on and off again? What's wrong, love? Here, I will rock you back and forth. Is it nap time? I still have my 1070. I love that card. Yeah, 1070, still a fun card to play around with. Still a very solid card. Kind of crazy how they're still releasing cards of the same amount of VRAM to this day, but I think that's probably why the 1070 still holds its value despite being as old as it is. Control Alt Delete, yeah. She's being fussy right now. She wants to be held, but she doesn't want to be held with me sitting down. This is a great time to use the tracking feature, actually. Give me 1 second. Let me go to full screen. We're going to end the stream soon because we are well over 2 hours into stream, which is about how long I've been streaming for these days, ever since becoming a new father. But this is the perfect situation to use the tracking. You okay, love? You okay? You're okay. What's wrong, love? Come on, tracking, go. All right, we're good. Now it can track. It can track. Bright light in eyes? I'm not sure if it's that, because she's still being fussy, even though she's not. Nope. She's not looking at the light right now. Oh, love, come on. Have to flip baby upside down and let the air bubbles out of the CPU pump. Oh my goodness. I think you're still hungry. You're still searching for boob. All right, give me 1 second. Hi. How you doing? Here. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. It seems not being able to breathe well when not in an upright position. Boy or girl? 2 girls. Oh, love, come on. What's wrong? If only you could talk and let me know what's wrong. Yeah, you're searching. You're still hungry, aren't you? Okay, we'll get you upstairs instead. Give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Oh, here you go. Did you guys just feed her? No. Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's why. That's why. She wants a dino nuggie. Imagine if the baby lets out a massive poop right now. They are known to do that. She wants you to end stream, eat some more, and go game with her padre. Do you think she is colic? We do have to use the colic specific bottles for their feeding. Even though I feel like they afterwards we burp them and they still spit up. So everything I looked up on it is just like, yep, babies just do that. There's no like specific explanation for it. Everything I've looked up regarding babies is well, it just depends, and yep, babies just do that. Like when there's something wrong, they're just like, yeah, that's normal. Like, oh, peely, dry skin, oh yeah, that's normal. Crying all the time, even after being fed, diaper changed, and being held, oh yeah, that's normal. Like everything you could think of when you try to look on for a solution online, like it's just, yeah, that's normal for a baby. So, but it kind of made sense. I thought my wife and in-laws fed her, so that when they gave her to me, I was like, oh, okay, you guys just fed her and she's good to go. But it makes sense why she was fussing, because she just woke up and she is hungry. So it was hard for me when I had my first child. My son is 19 now. Dang. Yeah, I would say right now it's pretty tough on my wife and I, in terms of just like um it's so much work, and it's the most difficult, I would say, into the late hours of the night, which I get those shifts. So like I watch the both of the twins from midnight to 6 a.m. so my wife can actually get a solid block of sleep, and then by 6 a.m. I'm just like dead. And then I sleep from then until like around noon while she gets them, but they're less fussy in the morning. So I woke up today at noon to after watching them and then getting ready for the stream and all that stuff. So yeah. Did you want twins? Um I don't think I really thought twins was even in the cards initially when we were when my wife first got pregnant, and when we found out there were twins, we were like kind of like in awe. But it's not a want or a didn't want thing. It's more like the chances of someone having twins is like 2% or less. So it's just something that most people don't even have to think about. So when we found out that we had twins, we were like, oh, that's actually really cool. And I guess we did plan on having multiple kids. So having two at once kind of puts all the work up front, right? It's like heavily loading yourself for school, like a heavy quarter so you can graduate early. So like we have them both at once. They're a ton of work now, but in terms of like having multiple kids, we're front loading all of that work. But I think now that they're here and they're as amazing as they are, I think it's pretty cool to have twins, because it's such a low percent chance of happening that it's something that I didn't really grow up around many twins. I don't have twins in my family, so it's just a new experience. But yeah, it's just more expensive up front, more work up front. But I think it's worth it. At least with twins, when they get older, they'll entertain each other, just like cats. You know how people get cats, and it's always recommended to at least get two cats so that they can play with each other. I think that is one of the benefits to it, right? They will have each other to play with and stuff, and of course, they'll eventually go to school and daycare and all that stuff. But just at the younger age, before all of that, for them to be able to socialize, they could do that right at home without us constantly having to go to like someone else's house for play dates or like to the park and all that stuff, which we'll still do, but it's just the majority of the time spent at a young age is at home. So that is one of the benefits. So it's a benefit, but it is a lot of work. I joked to my wife and I said, here, you take one twin and I'll take one twin, and we'll just kind of like separately take care of them for one day. It'll be like the Parent Trap, where each parent takes one twin, so that we could see what it's like to only take care of one baby, to see, what a difference in effort it is. But she wasn't up for that idea. What's the best website to go to for computer parts? In the US, it's Newegg and Amazon. Best Buy is pretty decent. B&H Photos is pretty decent. Micro Center, if you have one locally to you. But I would say, regardless of how much people criticize Amazon and Newegg, that's still the best places to get the hardware. And Best Buy now is doing pretty good, at least on the graphics card front. They have cards at like decent prices. Yeah, some baby formulas are good for. Yeah, we're going through the trials of diapers and wipes, and we're sticking to the same formula. They're mixed breastfeed and formula, so we're doing a brand called Kendamil, in terms of like cleanliness score, because my wife is very, she wants to not have like bad ingredients and stuff in it. It's one of the cleaner ones, I think, but yeah, for like diapers and stuff, we have like 4 brands of diapers we're testing out just to make sure they don't get rashes and all that. Same for baby wipes. Like As much as I want to just go straight to Kirkland Signature diapers and baby wipes, it's in terms of like the cleanliness ranking and the ingredients that they use in it, it's not the best. So some babies are sensitive to it, some are not. So we're just kind of like testing. Twins run in family, doesn't it? Normally, I think if they do run in family, it does. But sometimes they just pop out of nowhere, like for us. You can battle them like Pokemon 1 is Mrs. Big Niece and 1 is yours. Does Linux increase longevity on PC hardware? This is not a claim that I've seen online. Anyone in the chat seen that? That's not something that I've really heard of. I don't know. I think what would increase... It's hard to say because it's not like people can really test this stuff, right? Like, PC hardware lasts for a long time, especially if it's not under load. And you can't just go off of anecdotal evidence of like one person using Linux and them saying, oh yes, my graphics card lasts for 15 years. That's just like one point of data. Like, for mass scale testing of this stuff, it's just like not possible. This is not something that I would believe to be true, and I've not seen it, so. They have lower hardware requirements. So it would last longer. So that explanation to me makes sense because it has lower hardware requirements or is less stress on the hardware itself. But, I mean, I guess like you could underclock your stuff. You could run lighter versions of Windows. You could just not use your computer to game because it's not like, I'm guessing when you say Linux, are you talking about Linux gaming or just Linux, just general use computer? I would think a general use computer on the Windows side of things that's not used for gaming with an identical set of hardware for someone who games heavily. Of course, the computer that is stressed more, higher temps, higher voltages, etc., over extended duration of time, that is known to kill components. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something that you should be too concerned about, given that most PC hardware would already last long enough in their like relevant life cycle, right? Like, do I really care if the graphics card I'm buying today is going to be still usable in 10, 15 years? Probably not as much. Maybe 10 years for like old budget builds, but for the most part, most people don't keep their stuff for that long. Lightning strikes shortened life of my PCs in the past. Dependent if they make drivers or not. No drivers, no longevity. You can't even use it to begin with, yeah. Yeah, okay. With regards to support, I guess on the CPU side of things, did you ask for older hardware? Yeah, so in terms of, if you're talking about compatibility, I guess when you say longevity, I was thinking of like the actual lifespan of the parts, but if you're talking about it being compatible for longer, then yeah, I could see that. Yeah. If you had triplets, you could nickname them Doug Trio. Okay, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this stream. There should be a video this weekend if I can get around to doing it. My goodness, I just have like no time to be able to sit and work on a video, just because of how busy we are. Like, for video editing and like script writing and recording and stuff, you kind of have to get into a flow. Having like 30 to an hour chunks of segment is very difficult to get any kind of work done. And that's kind of what life is like right now. Because like we did build this PC last week on stream. I did clean it up. The cable management's nice. I already test and benchmarked it. I just need to like finish the video up. I still need to record the talking head portion of it. I need to like edit it all and stuff. I'm trying to get that out this weekend, but we'll see. Just with how like scattered my schedule is right now, it's hard to sit down and get any like good decent block of time to work on it. But the streams are nice because on Wednesdays so far we've worked it out so that I do have backup and support to help watch with the twins. So that's why I've been able to stream. But other than that, yeah, it's difficult to get any other work done. Stream's nice because I just sit here and talk for 2.5 hours and then I shut it off. There's no editing involved. There's no like, you know, I don't really think too much ahead in terms of topics. Most of this is off the top. With videos, it's like you write the script, you are very methodical about the message of the video and all that stuff. So it's a little bit more work. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can get this. This is a $1,000 build with the white 9060 XT in it. Performs really well. The customer is going to pick it up next week that I built it for. So yeah. But thank you all for being here tonight. We will see what happens. I guess we're still a few weeks out from the 50/50 actually releasing and seeing actual numbers. So yeah, we'll see what we can do for next week's stream. But I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend coming up. When is July 4th? So July 4th is going to be next week. What day? I'm trying to think because I'm going to be streaming around it, I think. July 4th is next. Okay, it's next Friday. So we should have next week's stream uninterrupted. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So have a good night, everyone. Appreciate you all. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.